All right. I am nothing if not prompt, even though I'm the only person who said I was going to be showing up at 9 o'clock this morning. However, I also want to make myself like 10 to 20% more comfortable. So I'm just grabbing a little table here to put my water on. So good morning. Good morning, all. Oh, Manischewitz, how nice it is. I got my little outdoor studio. I don't even know what the background looks like here. I moved my chair. Okay, yeah, see, I moved my chair to get a little fake plant action happening here. There we go. Okay, not too bad. I've seen worse. Hello, hello. Can I tell you how nice it is to just be back at your own house? This is when, good morning, Abbott Elementary, nice to see you. I am outside before it gets wicked hot. This will be interesting because we actually have a possibility of rain right around the time this TikTok Live is going to end. Good morning, Dana, nice to see you. Yeah, so we're just going to play it by ear. It was been so hot up here. We were down the beach. There we go. That one persona says, good morning. I was watching one of your videos on YouTube when I got the live notification. Yay. I like to have fun like this. What was I saying? The weather. It was so oppressively, angrily hot up here just a few days ago. I say up here in Pennsylvania. And then we went down on Thursday. We went because my husband had a gig. And it ended up getting rained out because when we got down the beach, and again, down the beach, up here, down the beach, I'm from New England, this is how we talk. Really? Really, you guys? Could you quiet down there, please? You know your life is good when you're saying, please, can we put a pause on the fun? All I want to do, even though I'm at the beach, all I want to do is just go home. And we were able to do that. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do a TikTok Live, but I am, and here I am, and I'm not doing it from the hotel room or, the beach. We're home, and I love it. Oh, I love it. I'm outside, and here, kind of in that carpe diem, seize the day, seize the moment. The reason I'm outside is it's going to get hotter out later today. But I figured I would capture and I would get out here. It's really important for our human bodies to just get some fresh air. Am I right, people? Yeah, Mom is saying South Carolina is super hot too. Yeah, speaking of super hot, so next week for TikTok Lives, and I know I'm just kind of rambling about, kind of the random stuff, the chit chat as people are filtering in, and oh, hey, Monday, talk about super hot. I am going to Las Vegas, Nevada, which just broke their highest heat record of 120 degrees. Ouch. I believe my hotel has a pool. I believe I won't be doing much outside of going to my seminars. I'm doing like a coaching thing, other than staying cool. So yeah, take care of yourselves, but also notice when it's not too bad out and maybe sneak outside and just breathe in the fresh air before it becomes soup. Soup. We both like soup. Now, I think those are cicadas, maybe? So funny. As soon as I start talking about them, they quiet down. But good morning, everybody. So, hey, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. Decluttering and life coach, all in the same package. Two mints in one. As you can see, I'm also a Gen Xer. And yeah, this is what I do. I like doing these TikTok lives to just give you a little smidge of what it can be like to look at your clutter like from a new perspective, to say, okay, I'm at a certain age, and it doesn't matter what age you are, whatever age you are, and the stuff around you doesn't delight you like it used to, and it's starting to bug you and not make you feel good, then you are the age to say, I want to do something about my clutter. And I want to do something, but I'm not sure what it is. I can help you, okay? I love to do this. I do. I also think TikTok Lives are wicked fun because I'm a fairly casual person. This is how I coach. The way I talk to everybody on this, on my TikTok Lives is how I coach. So if you're thinking, I don't know if this coach would be right for me, I don't know. I don't know either. Only you know. But this is how I am. I'm pretty casual. I mean, seriously, you guys. I am in my pajamas. I'm on my patio. Haven't showered. Not a stitch of makeup. And watching the people walk their dogs by, watching the walkers by. We're all getting out here. And I'm here to help you. I am. Maybe, like, I'm trying to think. Why would you need somebody to help you with clutter? A couple of things. That I feel overwhelmed. I'm anxious about it. It's stressing me out. Like the whole nervous system thing, the whole, activated nervous system. We can help you calm that down. I can help you. Just breathing. Seriously, it's so... Okay, so Debbie is saying overwhelmed. Let's calm it down. Okay, seriously. Debbie, you can do this. All of us. Because you do this every day, but not as intentionally. People call it breath work. I don't like the word work sometimes, so I just call it breathing. I say breathe a little bit more intentionally. Everybody, like, in with the good air, out with the bad air. In with the oxygen, out with the CO2. Slowing down. I just want you to think of the word down, okay, Debbie? When you think overwhelmed, think of overwhelmed, like over, the word over. I want you to think the opposite. I love talking in opposites. Apostrophe S. Calming down, slowing down, quieting down, breathing down into the bottom of your lungs, slowing down when you exhale. Repeating this. Seriously, if all of us did this for a minute, good morning, G. Schnauzer, nice to see you. It's 9:07 now. Let's all just breathe nice and slow and calm and quiet for like a minute. And just notice, as somebody said, Cassie said mindfulness, just be mindful. Notice when you slow down, when you calm down, when you quiet down. All I'm doing is breathing and talking, but I'm using a slower tone, a quieter tone. Notice I'm being gentle with myself too. I'm not beating myself up. Notice. Now it's 9:08. Debbie, maybe you feel a little less overwhelmed. Now the very first thing all of us should do, I think the order of operations, as I like to say, is make sure you're feeling okay before you even do anything. If you're not feeling okay, do something so you're feeling okay. Making yourself feel better helps you do better. I know myself, when I'm not feeling better, I'm distracted by what's not making me feel good. If I'm hungry, if I have a headache, if I didn't put a cushion on my seat, if there wasn't a place for me to put my glass of water, I do things to make me feel better because then I can concentrate and focus. Now, here's a funny thing. Part of that may be clutter. Clutter may make it more difficult for you to focus on what is important to you. I know myself, this was so funny. Mary Connolly, wherever you are, maybe you're still in Dorchester, maybe you're still in Dot. I remember her saying, oh, that's so funny. You need to always clean your room. I see you're cleaning your dorm room before you ever sit down and write a paper. You know what that said to me? First of all, I was always messing up my dorm room because that's how I grew up, was cluttered, and I didn't know how to do anything else. But also how much better it felt, how much easier it was for me to concentrate when I wasn't surrounded by so much clutter. When you feel better, you do better. When you don't feel so good, you're not doing so good in life. So start doing things to make yourself feel better. Seriously, people. All right. Breathe in the roses, blow out the candles. That's a good one, that one persona. I love it when people give their little tidbits. Like, I'm here sharing my tidbits. Here, have a tidbit. This is what helps me. I like to think in opposites. Overwhelmed to down, fear to love, judgment to curiosity. Like, what do you call it? Opposites go this way and this way. Hockey Chick has a success story. You have decluttered. Awesome. Pamela makes her bed first thing in the morning. I can't because my husband's still in it. I usually do fluff up the sheets a little bit. So you know how it feels nice when the sheets are all bundly and then you kind of go whoosh and you get some air in them and then they fall nicely on you. It's a silly posturepedic morning. But I can't really make my bed. Here's a fun thing. I don't make the bed because I get up before him and he's still in bed. But then he gets up later. So I'm like, hey, it's your job to just kind of make the bed. And it's a very casual making of the bed. Okay, Hockey Chick decluttered the 2 worst rooms in our house. I feel so much better. See, y'all, this is why we do it, to feel better. Push forward. Don't give up. Keep on going. Keep on going. And notice the difference. I said it. I used this phrase before, the kind of push me, pull you. is like, are you pushing yourself to declutter, or are you being drawn towards something that's making you want to declutter? I think of this, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it took you months. That's okay. It probably took you months to accumulate the stuff. And you probably accumulated a lot of the stuff very unmindfully. Picking up this, picking up that, grab that, bought this, got this, and all of a sudden it's there. I think of this, honestly, you guys, this is how my brain goes, like weight gain and weight loss. Because we can mindlessly eat and drink a lot of calories. But in order for us to change those habits, we have to become mindful. And what does that mean? It just means be aware of what you're doing. And when you're aware of what you're doing, what you typically do is you slow down. Like Hockey Chick is saying, and Dana, just so you know, Hockey Chick, Dana gave you like a little congratulations thing, as do I. When you're mindful, you slow down, but you slow down in a good way. So yeah, it may take you longer to get to declutter, but it's at a pace that feels good to you. We found stuff we forgot we had and ended up getting rid of it. Yeah. Isn't it curious, the stuff that you store at a certain point in your life? Today, you and I are right here in the center. We are here at the present. The past is down here, and the future is over here. In the past, previous you stored something away for whatever reason. We can go deep and try to figure it out, but you stored something, probably thinking either, I don't know what to do with it now, maybe I'll figure it out later, or you maybe said, I might use this someday. But then, when you uncover it, when you're aware of, when you're mindful of, when you notice the thing, today, you can say to yourself in today's self, oh, check it out. I totally forgot we even had this. Do we even want that? When's the last time we used this? It may be so easy for you to remove a lot of things from your life simply because you let them sit for so long and not using them. Yeah, it kind of happens. But notice the slowness of it. We want everything like that. I want to lose 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 pounds like that, don't you? And I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying we want what we want like that. However, sadly, it's not like that. We have to take our time and do it right. But that's okay, because my thought is, and this is what I'm saying to myself, and really I'm kind of talking to myself, honestly, because I'm sitting here and I'm uncomfortable in my skin because I have gained weight. I want to change my habits so I don't just declutter and then say, oh, I lost the weight, and then scope back up again. I want to use my decluttering principles to say, I'm going to knock down the weight, but in a pace that feels comfortable to me. I'm going to knock down the clutter. So funny, if we were doing like a copy paste and every time I said clutter, I said weight, it would be really interesting because it's the same thing. It's like I want to be mindful of how I got there. I want to remove the bad, not bad. See, notice me, I'm changing how I want to notice the habits that got me there, and I want to slowly, with love, change those habits so I reduce the clutter, but then I change the way I am so it's less likely that it's going to grow. Okay? And see, Hockey Chick, you're doing the same thing. Rock on. We are making a daily effort to keep things clear and clean. And I love how you said we and all this, because people notice, you notice it feels better when you're in a decluttered home, and then you're more likely, when you see the results of that, you're more likely to stay that way. Maybe I'll feel that way when I lose some poundage. Oh, I like how this feels. I'm not feeling creases in my waist when I'm sitting down. I feel better. Maybe I will start to working out with weights, and I'll feel a bit stronger. Maybe I'll feel better about myself when I look at pictures of me, when my hair is cut too short and my face looks too big, because that's how I feel right now. Yeah, both are excess baggage. And Pamela, this is the wonderful thing. It's that notice of nothing, kind of lack to too much, excess. Not in excess, people. Excess. Abundance, overabundance is what doesn't feel good. When you declutter and when you lose weight, this is my riff for the day, you decrease the amount you have until you get to a set point that feels good to you. Anything more than that, you might get into like a danger zone, but noticing what feels good to you and being cool with it. Now, I will say this, I have been more comfortable in the past year with the extra weight on my body than I ever have when I was literally, like 20 pounds lighter. I wasn't happy with myself, so even when I was 20 pounds lighter, I still was beating myself up. So this is a journey for me to say, okay, I'm gonna try to love myself, whatever weight I am. But when I'm not feeling good about it, I am gonna do something about it. Eleanor is asking, Yeah, and see, it's making a huge difference in my life, and I will say this. Hockey Chick, first of all, thank you everybody for congratulating Hockey Chick. We know this isn't easy, but notice how good it feels when you celebrate your wins, when you encourage somebody else. Hockey Chick is showing this to say, if I did this, you can do it too. Okay, I love it. Abbott Elementary saw a quilt set in the donation bag and he took it out. Says he's taking it to Peru. Okay, you know what? Abbott Elementary, as long as it's not in your house, it doesn't matter where it gets donated to, whether it's the place down the street or it's Peru. But notice this too, when you're living with other people and other people have thoughts and feelings about clutter, he's probably like, that's something good. Somebody I know may want that. Maybe things are different in Peru. Maybe somebody truly would be grateful for it versus, again, the excess of the United States. We all have feelings, thoughts and feelings about clutter that makes us do something with it. Either hang on to it or let it go. Knowing that it's difficult for us to go through it, we have hopefully much more sympathy and, I almost said apathy, but no, sympathy and empathy and curiosity, not judgment about what other people think and feel about their stuff. Okay, now thinking of how decluttering can make you feel a certain way, Eleanor is saying, how do you get over the guilt that grandkids can't come over? Okay, you know what? How about decluttering? And one of your motivations is the excitement of having your grandkids be able to come over. Notice the difference between being pushed into something and being drawn towards something with your heart. A magnet in your heart is saying, I want to go to there. You know, like me right now, nobody else is pushing me. Again, I'm going to talk a lot about my weight, I feel like, because it's the same thing with clutter. Nobody's pushing me to declutter. Nobody's pushing me to lose weight. Like, you're too fat. Because if anything, I would flip the bird at them and say, F you, and then I'd go eat a cake. I personally don't feel comfortable right now in my body. So I want to lovingly encourage myself to do something different. And you know what I did yesterday? Seriously? Not having an alcoholic drink. Because we have so much fun in our lives, but it often involves food and drink. And that can get your body cluttered up with feelings and fat cells you don't want. Notice what I'm doing too right now. See this? This is 32 ounces. I decided to fill it up today, and I said I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to empty this twice. I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water. I bet that's going to make me feel better. I do this to encourage you to feel better in your home. And as I said, I'm just sharing you as a girl who's going to be 58 in less than a month. I want to feel more comfortable in my own skin before I die. And maybe even before I turn 58. All right. I love it. Hockey Chick repainted and remonished. Fresh and new. Don't you love those descriptors, those adjectives? Fresh and new. I feel better. I feel great. You know? Some days I could handle, I love this, you're being like a walking testimonial to decluttering. Hockey Chick, and I'm just reading it for the people who might be puttering and decluttering, as I like to say, while I'm on, or you're listening to this on a recording of it on YouTube, and the YouTube doesn't show the script here. But Hockey Chick is saying, some days I could just handle going through one box, but that was okay. Celebrate the little wins. Yes. And, I love it. Heather says, I accomplished more this week due to my live sessions. Cool. Thank you for letting me know that. Thank you for letting me know that, because I have made it a point recently, and you may have noticed this, or maybe it doesn't matter to you, but I made a decision to show up more often doing TikTok lives. I do this strategically. One is it gives me some structure in my day. I didn't have to get up and do one today. When I schedule them, I show up, but when I say I'm doing a pop-up, it gave me a reason to get out of bed at the top of the hour. It gets my day going. Yesterday, I did the same thing when we were on vacation, you know? And I love this. Ruthie is saying, after one of your lives last week, I got my main rooms decluttered enough to have a new friend over. Ruthie, okay. Tell that to, I'm always bad with names because they go by so quickly, to Eleanor. Eleanor, you can do it. Ruthie just did it, you know? And your friends, your true friends don't give a shit. They don't. But if you want it to look better, do something so you feel better in your home, because then when you feel better, you're more likely to invite them over. Okay? And that one persona is saying, I can definitely tell when I don't meet my water goals. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I do too. But I forget that sometimes, and I'm like, beer has alcohol, beer has water in it, and you just get caught up in the moment. But yeah, the reason I do more TikTok lives, I'll be honest with you guys, is I know that I charge for my one-on-one coaching. But I also know that I don't want to only help people can afford it. Now, it's not crazy expensive. I don't feel like people have said, that, oh my God, it's such a bargain. I know people who charge 3 times as much. I feel good about what I charge because I know that every time, and like this week, for example, I'm going to Las Vegas to get even more coaching training so I can come back and be a better coach. But I don't want to just help the people who have the money to afford me. What I do is I totally do an awesome job for them, and I love one-on-one coaching because it's a different animal. But notice even just a little smidge of coaching, doing a TikTok live can change somebody's life. I say this to you as encouragement. What can you do to help somebody in a smidge? What little smidge can you give to help somebody else who's struggling with something? I love it that Hockey Chick is showing up and saying, hey, I did this. I feel good about it. Like, celebrate the wins and you can do it, and here's how I did it. I want to share this. You want to help other people. Yep. And this is what we do it. Yay, good people. You're really good at this. Thank you. I practice. This is also, honestly, me talking about clutter literally for 30 plus hours a week, probably with all my clients and my TikTok lives and my consultations, 30 to 40 hours a week. The more you get into it, the more comfortable you are. And what I notice is what works and what doesn't. And what I do is I declutter, if you think about it, I declutter my coaching here. What I do is I experiment with what works. I hang out and does this resonate with people? No, I don't. I declutter it. I get rid of that thought. What does come up? I use these things more. I declutter it so it's nice and clean and simple and clear. I like things when they're simple and clear. I am smart. I understand fancy schmancy words. I don't care to, though. I am also, I don't want to say lazy. I almost said lazy, but in a good way. I am efficient because I want to use the simplest words possible because that makes my brain doesn't have to work as hard to translate something. Oh, that's right. What does regulate your nervous system mean? How about just calming down? I could use the vagus nerve and the bilateral symmetry and all the fancy jargon, and it's there. It's behind everything I do. But I'd just rather tell you to lovingly notice the opposite of when you're feeling not good. What can you make yourself to feel good? When I'm feeling not so good, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink some water. Okay? Hockey Chick, thank you. Yay. And I love this. You guys, such a love fest today. And it's good. Love, love, love. Thank you for giving me the tips and motivation. It was your lives that gave me the key. Yeah, I can hand you the key to the car. And this is me. I talk about the car, the road trip metaphor. It sticks with me, so I will never give that up because it puts things into perspective. I can hand you the key to the car. I'm looking at my car right now. And you're behind the wheel. I'm behind the wheel of my metaphorical car, as are you. I can give you the key, but you have to be the one to put it in the ignition. And notice what happens. You have a key, you have to put it in the ignition, and an ignition ignites a spark. You have to pay attention to yourself and figure out what ignites that spark. What's the key? The key is just a part of it to go vroom. And then when you ignite the spark of excitement, then your engine starts running. And you're like, oh yeah, hey, I got gas in my tank. Okay, I can do this. But I can have the key and hand it to you, but you're the only one who can do something with it. So I try my best I literally saw a note to myself on the top of my coaching notes because I want to go over my coaching notes and do a few things before I go away for the weekend when I get some more training. And one of the things I wrote is how can I help people overcome their inertia? Now, I probably have notes about it, but what I want to do is encourage you. I am modeling a good behavior for you to emulate. See, fancy words. Notice what's happening when I just talk to you nicely, when I give you some suggestions. But when I talk to your soul and your heart and your co-pilot, when I talk to you like your encouraging internal voice that says you can do this, okay? You can do this. You can. Decluttering is just a skill you don't know some strategies. I can teach them. You can learn strategies. You've learned other things before. It's not too late. It is never too late. You can teach an old dog new tricks. But I don't want this to just be a trick, like, here, sit up on your hind legs. I want this to be a new way, a different way of approaching the same things in life because you want a different result. You want to stay in a house that's not just decluttered once, but it's maintained and decluttered, so you just don't have to spend your weekends decluttering. You get to spend your days chilling, walking, reading a book, painting, whatever you like to do before you die. I want you to do more of that and less cleaning of your house. Okay? I love it. And Ruthie, that's so cool. Your friends said they liked their house. But you know what? I bet you, I couldn't believe I did it. Yes, you know what? Notice how you were probably radiating some good vibes when you open the door. Hey, come on in. Yeah. And you don't say it overtly. Feeling pretty good about my house is clean. Because, man, if you had seen it before. But when your house is less cluttered, I bet you're going to feel better if you do it the right way. If you do it where you throw everything away, that's one way of getting the stuff out of your house. But you're probably not going to feel so good about that because you're going to regret something you threw away because you didn't do it. But notice what you do and how it makes you feel. Yeah, cleaning is not a punishment. It really isn't. But also, doing it at an expense, I can't believe how much. I must be on the clean talk here on TikTok because there's some things that people do that I'm like, I do not care to spend my time doing that. I honestly have no idea when the last time I have never washed my walls. They look okay, but I don't want to spend the time doing that. Okay? And here's something I want to just this is something I feel it's important because it's so funny. I felt this thought come up and part of me was like, oh no, don't say this because it might offend somebody, but I'm going to go there. I don't think this should offend you because it's an observation. And if it offends you, maybe we don't get along well. I don't know. I just want to think about this. You can only do one thing at a time with your time. Multitasking is really quickly going from one thing to another. This to that, to this to that. You cannot wash your walls and, do something at the same time. Both things suffer. Notice when you are distracted by, and I think literally back to the 1950s housewives, where women in the 40s participated in the workforce. But then the war was over, and then the men came home, and then the men needed the job. And then suddenly there were all these things that came up to occupy women's times in the level of expectation of what your home looked like and what you looked like and what you bought and how you did it took over your life. Now, I say this in all sincerity because when you are too busy worried about how your house looks and spending hours cleaning your home, you're also not out kicking the world's ass. You're also not out doing things that can make a world that you want to live in or the generations coming up. So just notice, please, where you spend your time and where you don't spend your time. I want to encourage you that even if you're not like a political activist, but you are spending time in your life doing the things that are important to you. And that they fill your life with hope and love and fear. Not fear. Hope and love, not fear. So that when you die, you feel good about what you did on the planet. Okay? Hockey chick, I love this. My husband couldn't part with a lot of his old stuff. I made him put it out in the shed. Yeah, we have a bunch of my husband's stuff down in the basement. I think that's one of the reasons. I'm going to pretend like it's a reason that I don't go down the basement and be on the treadmill because his stuff is all piled up. It's fine, though. I'm cool with it right now. But there is a time. I know it bugs me, but we've been so busy. Again, we have such a great life. We have so much fun that I'm like, okay, but at one point I'm like, all right, when the weather's crappy someday, we're going to get down there and do it. Tracy just found my page. Very motivating. Oh, glad. Welcome. It's 9:30, so I'll just, I feel like I'm in college radio like back in the 80s. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered here on TikTok. I have a website, destinationdecluttered.com. My TikTok lives are recorded and put up on Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I have a mailing list. It's free if you want to get on it, destinationdecluttered.com/join. We do all sorts of fun things. Like, for example, the people on the mailing list knew I was going to do a TikTok live today. I didn't post it ahead of time on TikTok. They know also, well, now you're going to know too. I'll probably do a pop-up tomorrow morning too. But then they also know the schedule for between now and the entire month of July. It's crazy to realize we're halfway through July, you guys. Blows my mind. Also, between now and the end of the month, we do a free group Zoom call. Whoever wants, you're on the mailing list, you're invited. You can show up if you want. We do what we do here. We celebrate wins, we problem solve, we encourage, and we leave it with a little bit more kind of tools in our toolkit to move forward in a way that we want, you know? So that's what I do, Tracy. So that's who I am. Isabel is saying, we've been decluttering our closets. Awesome. Every weekend we put out a bag of clothes. We've given 9 bags away. And Hockey Chick is cheering you on. Good for you, Isabel. I love it. You know? I never clean my walls either. See, but you notice this thing. You say, oh, shit, should I be cleaning my walls? That person's scrubbing their floor. Oh, am I really supposed to do the baseboards? I mean, I do it when it's crappy on the baseboards. I'll grab like a paper towel and then I'm done. You know? But notice these things, guys. Yeah, decluttering requires focus. The second you get distracted, you need to pull yourself back in. Yes, notice we live in a distractible world. And I am a distractible girl. Yeah. You know, and Cassie, how overwhelming it feels like you're like, wait a minute, I got to raise a child and be in the workforce and clean the walls? No. I'd rather have dirty walls and a full life. You know? There we go. Actually, it's funny, and I was thinking walls and wallet. Hockey Chick says I never clean my walls. Abbott Elementary just emptied all the sections of a purse and found a credit card I was looking for yesterday. Yeah, you know what we did? Abbott, we did the exact same thing we did earlier this week. Stored clutter. Think of your purse. What you have to do in order to find stuff, and what a really good way to do it is to take a surface, dump out what you have, categorize it, and organize it. What you're going to find is you probably find something that you didn't know it was. I do this, like I'm unpacking from this weekend because I have to repack, or this weekend, like Thursday night, I have to repack for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm going to dump out to make sure, and there's going to be like a receipt and a chewing gum wrapper and, you know, something I don't need, but then I'll be like, oh, that's right. I need to get some Starbucks gift cards for the flight attendants. Like, oh, good thing. Stored clutter. Dumping it out, seeing what you have and deciding what you want. It's that simple. And I love it when you find something, you're like, oh, check it out. I have found, I don't make this stuff up, people, but how much, if you declutter, I have had my clients report to me that they have found money. They have found valuables. Diamond earrings that they misplaced, checks that hadn't been cashed, freaking cash that they forgot they tucked away on themselves. Decluttering can be a treasure hunt on so many levels. Because what you're going to do, too, is you're going to discover stuff, but you're going to discover stuff about yourself, about who you were in the past, but also, even better, who you are now. And when you're mindful about it, because it's only mindfully, it's taking time and slowing down to see who you were, who you are, and who you want to be. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Body of Christ, amen. Okay, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Hockey Chick, and I love it. We all deserve to live in a clean, enjoyable space. Do it for yourself. Yes, please. You can use other people as a little push, as a little encouragement, external, what do I call it? Like external accountability. Oh, we have some people coming over to spend the week. Of course, we're going to vacuum because I want it to be nice for them. But I get the bonus of being nice for me. When it's just my husband and me, yeah, we totally let the dust grow. Because we have so much fun, we're rarely at home. I literally feel like, this is so cool, I almost feel like sometimes I Airbnb at my own house. And I love it because my house feels good to me. I want your house to feel good to you. House, home, wherever you live, you deserve to feel good. The opposite of good is bad. Do you feel bad in your house? Don't you want to feel good in your home, in your life? You know? I love it. Cassie is saying, my TikTok is full of overconsumption. Beth is a breath of fresh air. Fresh air with Terry Gross. I sat at her desk once, on WHYY. It was very cool. She has glasses. I have glasses. She has short hair. I have short hair. Yeah. Where are you? I'm out on my patio with my fake plants because I'm not home long enough to keep the live ones alive. And I'm outside before it rains and oh, actually, I see some blue sky. Blue sky smiling at me. I'm doing my Al Jolson. All right. So, yes, overconsumption. Notice that notion of overwhelm, overconsumption. You got to consume. You got to have stuff in your house to make life living, but it doesn't have to be too much. Decluttering, really, if you look at the scale right here, think of decluttering like having nothing is an empty stomach. Having nothing is lack. It's down here. As you fill up your stomach, when I was a little kid, I used to think my stomach was literally from like my crotch to my shoulders. And I'd be like, I'm stuffed, I'm hungry, I'm full, because I thought it was my whole stomach. Now I know differently. But that same feeling, if you go from hungry to not hungry, but many of us don't know our satiety point, our set point. Eating or buying stuff. Because we're used to thinking, oh, anything more than being hungry is better. And we live in an overconsumption society. More is better. Buy this, buy that, consume, consume. It's a capitalist society. It falls apart if everybody's not over-consuming. But then we're what's the word I'm looking for? Littering up the planet and making ourselves feel crappy. If you notice that, and you notice that when you're too full of food, of stuff, overconsumption, you can change that. And what you do, the way I coach, is you do it organically. And what I mean just that is at a pace that works for you. Not 10% temper. It could be, but you think about it. 10%, okay, that feels a little better. All right, I can survive. I'm not freaking out. 10% less, 10% less, 10% less. Every time you do another layer, you get used to living with less, and it feels okay. Then you say, well, let me try this again. Let me try this again. And then what you do is you get to your just right point. I know I'm at that at my house because I feel like I could conceivably take stuff away, but I think it looks good, just right to me. I also know this when I go out to, shop. I was walking around cute little shops at the beach yesterday as it was raining. I also am very mindful of what I bring in now. I really want it to be something that lights up that green light in my heart before I bring it into my house. Notice that it goes from lack to over, and what we're doing is just getting you back to where it feels right to you. And that is going to be different for everybody, but you deserve to feel right, to feel good. It's like the Three Bears. Not too empty, not too full, just right. Okay? There we go. I love this. Hockey Chick says, I worked on my own for at least a month. My husband started to help after he watched me. Yeah. You guys, you think of how we learn things as kids. You grow up by observing people. We do this right now, actually. Oh, is that what people's sneakers are looking like now? Oh, we're wearing our socks different? Oh, okay. Oh, that's what bathing suits look like now? Oh, all right. Everybody's having another cocktail. I guess I should too. Oh, nobody's drinking here? Oh, okay. Notice. We are social creatures. We pick up social cues. You, just starting on yourself and doing something on your own, can have a positive ripple effect on other people. Even in the decluttering. Hockey Chick is saying I worked on it for my own, and then my husband started to help after he watched me. Maybe you were modeling that behavior. There we go. All right. Hey from Maine. Like it. Hey from Maine. Decluttering yesterday, including a trip to the dump. To the dump, to the dump, to the dump, dump, dump. Camp is looking great. I love it. I love it. There we go. All right. Wackasully, didn't get to you. I was going to get to you, but I'm moving on a pace that works for me. Sorry you left. Sorry you weren't patient enough to get the answer. Sucks to be you. All right, what do we got? Hockey Chick says, say to yourself, what do I have the energy to handle today? But always work on at least one thing. Oh my God, Hockey Chick, you are doing such good stuff. Thank you for sharing these things. Yes. Everybody, think of your energy in the day. Think of how you feel as like gas in your tank. You can do one of two things. You can drive as far as you have the gas in your tank to say, well, I've got a half a tank, I can drive, 50 miles. Or you can say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some things that is going to get the gas in my tank better. And that's usually about making yourself feel better. Feeling better physically will give you more gas to do the things. Like for today, for example, I'm going to make myself feel better in my body, and that's going to encourage me to do some decluttering. There we go. All right. Jessica Woodard says, I cleared out some stuff this week and got rid of 2 pieces of furniture. My home feels so much lighter. Yeah. Good stuff, people. Okay. Kimberly, notice this. Hey, Bobby Dugas from Tampa. Hope you're cool down there. If hubby would start to learn to not how to hoard, Kimberly, this is the thing I want to get clear with all of us. Trust me, my husband has more stuff than I do. I take care of my stuff different from him. But please, 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 with other people, but especially yourself, catch yourself when you're being judgy. Catch yourself when you're judging him about his hoarding, because he has thoughts and feelings that cause him to hoard. You have thoughts and feelings that cause you to do what you do. And judgment just gets in the way of action. When you're judgy, what you're doing is you're shutting it down. You're shutting people down. I'm not saying I don't do this myself, but boy, do I try. Get into curiosity. Why is that person the way they are? Is it because of the way they grew up? Is it because of whatever? You could ask them. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't care to know. Maybe it feels comfortable to them to be surrounded by a lot of stuff. Okay? So just notice these things, And start with yourself, though. Seriously. I didn't start coaching until I started with myself. The blind can't lead the blind. Well, they can, but you'd both be bumping into walls. Stop judging yourself about your clutter. Ask yourself, why am I cluttered? Ask yourself and then listen for your answer. Yeah, and the judgiest towards the ones you always heard, the ones you love, the ones you never heard at all. I can't sing like the Mills Brothers, but you know that song. There we go. Hey, Ivy, atta girl. Everybody, give Ivy an atta girl. You are helping me clean up and declutter my bedroom. Please give me an atta girl. Awesome. I give you what I like to call the Liz Lemon high five, the Tina Fey. Give yourself a high five. Give yourself an atta girl. Don't just look for external. External is great. Do not deny the benefits of external validation, but atta girl yourself first. Okay? Atta girl. Erin's giving you. Everybody see? There you go. We're all in this together, friends. It feels good when people else notice it, but you know what feels good too? Is when you notice it. When you notice it. I love it. Kara, making different changes. I added the vintage rattan to my camp in Maine, gave away a broken chair, and said no to a Wakefield buffet, but that needed handles. That is huge. Not bringing in the stuff that you're like, oh, well, that's kind of what I want, but I can fix it. And then I knew I never did. Oh, my God. Ivy. Okay, good. I see your heart, so I hope you see all the thumbs up and everything, okay? I love it. I love it. But here's a wonderfully even more powerful tool, you guys, is when you start to tell yourself, and you have that voice in you. This is where I like to talk about the two voices in your head. You've got your backseat drivers and you've got your co-pilot. Backseat drivers are like, no, it's not good enough. People don't like you. We're doomed. All the negative, all the unhelpful, all the wearing down, all the judgment, the fear, the shame, the resentment, the embarrassment, the envy, all of that comes from a scared little kid in the back seat. However, that's not the only voice you have. You have a wonderful co-pilot in your car with you. This co-pilot is your invisible co-pilot, like the backseat drivers are invisible. Sometimes they're visible. Sometimes there are people in your life that actively say that shit to you. However, you, my dears, all of us have a wonderful co-pilot sitting in the passenger seat. I endeavor to, every time I show up on a TikTok live and when I'm coaching, I show up in what I call co-pilot energy. We are on a road trip together. I am your BFF. I am there, but I'm not just there to hang out with you and commiserate and stuff like that. We do plenty of that, but then I'm like, okay, what can we do about this? This is where the coach comes in. I show you, I believe in you when you don't believe in yourself, because I know you can do this. And I show you how much better it feels when you just start to say this stuff to yourself, And when you start to treat yourself better, you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, you can't let the negative thoughts take control. Here's a funny thing. The negative thoughts actually cannot take control, and neither can the co-pilot. All they can do is influence you. You're the only one behind the wheel. That's why I envision here's the funny thing. I envision the backseat drivers, the unhelpful thoughts, as little kids strapped in a car seat, because they can't steer the car. But boy, do they talk to you and encourage you to steer in the direction they want you to go to, or not even start to drive. Ever been in the car with a real backseat driver? They're not steering. They're not going and saying, here, let me do this. But man, will their words influence you to slow down. Oh no, you should have taken that left. Damn, you're going too fast. No, now you're going too slow. I am guilty of this in the real world. However, your co-pilot, the co-pilot though, that's cool. Your co-pilot voice doesn't lean over and steer. You know how they say, like, God took the wheel? No, what I like to think of is my spirit whispered to me, you can do this. I know you can do this. You got this. And then it doesn't drive you. It encourages you to drive in the way that you want. And then when you do it, it's so much more powerful than somebody else doing it for you. Okay? So notice those things, people. Okay? Simply Tanya is saying, I'm giving my amazing advice to the collective. Thank you. You're welcome. It's one of the things I love about TikTok and social media is I'm just sitting here on my patio, and I don't even know what state of the union you're in or what country or what time it is. I don't really care. The neat thing is if I can get my word out to help you and you're feeling better wherever you are. This is me being Gen X. It's like that Fabergé organic shampoo commercial. I do this to you, and then you feel good, and then you're going to be nice to the cashier, and you're going to wave to your neighbor. You're going to be slightly less bitchy to your husband when he's at home and he hasn't picked up his underpants. You know, positive ripple effect makes us all feel better. A rising tide floats all boats. All right? There we go. Marcy, here's a funny thing. When you ask yourself, notice this really important, not trick, but just notice this. Marcy is saying, getting basement soon. Every room cleaned and 4 kids' papers for nearly 15 years has been saved. Why? Notice the word why. And notice how you say it to yourself. Are you being judgy and mean? Why did I save this? I'm so mad at my past self. Oh, why did I do that? That kind of makes you feel bad. That's like shame, resentment. Or, same verse, second verse, same as the first, but with a different accent. I'm Henry the Eighth, I am. Or it's probably a camp song. Regardless. Quiet down, loving Gen X pop culture brain. What I want to say is this. Why in judgment shuts you down? Why in love and curiosity opens you up? Why did I save these? I don't know. I guess I thought it was important at the time. Now I don't. All right. Reduce the drama. Drama drains your energy like nobody's business. I have no interest or time for drama. I like a drama-free life because it gives me more energy to just kind of glide through the world. Okay? And I'm glad you're hearing this today. You know what? Take it to heart. Bring it with you. I'm giving it away free. Here, take it. Fill your bucket. Fill your basket. Put all this in a bag and bring it with you and use these tools I'm sharing with you. Okay, yes. They told two friends, and so on and so on. Yes. This is what I do, people. Notice the difference when I said this. This is how I like to think of it. And even when I do this, even notice we've got two sides of our brain. We've got bilateral symmetry. We've got one hand and the other. On the one hand, you can think a thought that's unhelpful and feel a feeling that's unhelpful. And then what you will probably do with your hands is you'll either hang on to stuff you don't want, or you'll have a hard time, or you'll just do nothing. Or you'll keep on grabbing things, thinking things are going to make you feel better. However, on the flip side, there is always a flip side. There's always another hand. On the other hand, you can think a different thought. I highly recommend paying attention to this one and just inverting it to the opposite. It just makes it easier. When you think a different thought, a better thought, the opposite of the bad, it makes you feel better, and you start to feel better. And when you feel better, when you're not in fear and no and judgment, when you're in love and yes and encouragement and curiosity and feeling safe that you're not going to get judged or yelled at, then that's when your co-pilot's like, hey, you can do this. Why did I say those? I don't know. I did. Now I'm going to get rid of them. Okay, cool. Do that. Let's go on to the next thing. That is the most powerful tool. Cher is asking, what about always wanting to buy things? Seriously, notice how you're feeling when the want and lack, want. I want something. I want means I don't have. What are you buying? Why do you want to buy something? I know back in the day, I would go shopping to distract myself from the bigger questions in my life, to distract myself from fear, to make myself feel good because I was finally making enough money that I can buy whatever I want. That I got to buy whatever I want because I wasn't wearing the clothes my mom made me buy. Little Zayres pull-on pants and stuff. We shop for many reasons. I shop now just to solve problems. And I mean that in the most non-dramatic way. If we're out of toilet paper, I shop for toilet paper. If we're out of fresh fruit, I will buy, actually my husband usually buys fresh fruit. If we're out of something that we need in order to make life easy, we'll do that. But I rarely, if ever, go out to shop to distract myself, to make myself feel good, because I already feel good. Okay, so just notice. Yeah, Cassie is saying shopping is always a distraction. I say this with love for you. Figure out what you are distracting yourself from, and then work on that a little bit. You can do it. It's not as scary as you think. You deserve to live a life you feel good at before you die, you know? And yeah, notice when you're distracting yourself. When you're distracting, what you're doing is, look, I do it myself. I got ADHD, so I'll be walking around. Sometimes I'm in a distracted mode. That's fine. When I know I'm distracted, I may not be able to concentrate and stuff like that. But sometimes I know I'm distracting myself from the thing right in front of me. Distraction from cleaning. All right. But here's the funny thing. I always say that there is a difference between decluttering and cleaning and decluttering and organizing and decluttering and like containerizing things. I'm always giving like cleaning, it always gets like a little bad rap for me. I'm like, I don't like to do it. Here's the deal. I don't like to do it frequently. But once I start it, it's not that bad. I actually like to see, I like to see, what do you call it? I like to see the before and after. When I see dust and I clean it off, it's like, oh, look what I did. I made it look better. Yeah. And absolutely. And the cool thing is, Mama Liz, you're saying, yes, absolutely, distracting me from doing the work in me. And what I want to just suggest to you, too, is how about this? Maybe you're distracting yourself from doing the work in you when you're calling it work. I don't really like the word work. I don't like the word office. You know what word I like? Is play. You know, like the word I like to use is experiment, curiosity, creativity. It's one of the reasons why, like, legitimately, my husband is a musician. He is a creative being. He doesn't call his creative space an office. He calls it his studio. Now, I'm a creative being. I create different things. I create coaching. I create hope and encouragement and empower people. So I don't even like to call my work, my workspace. You know, if I said that, the place where I go to do that thing I do, you doing that thing you do. I don't like to call it an office because when I think of working in an office, I'm like, ugh. But when I think of playing in a creative studio space, it makes me feel better. Yeah. Yeah, and cleaning is easier without the declutter. Swedish death cleaning. Yeah. So don't look at it as work. Look at it as play. Look at it as experimentation. I wonder what's in me. You're decluttering yourself. You're looking inside and saying, what is it in me that causes me to acquire more things and have a hard time releasing them? What is it? You know what it is? This is what I always start with. It's a thought. It's words in your head that cause your nervous system to feel a feeling. Okay? So say, okay, I'm going to curiously sit here and I'm going to take note. If I was at my desk, I would actually have my little notepad. I wonder what those thoughts are. I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to be like a stenographer. I'm getting lazy with my eyes here. Stenographer. I'm going to get lazy. I'm just going to get curious and I'm going to write down those thoughts. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm not going to judge them. Judgment will shut people down, including your internal people. Show up in an air of curiosity and compassion and lightness and no big deal. And listen to what's going on inside you and then write it down. You know? Yeah. I did that. It was scary at first, but man, did I discover some really interesting things that once I discovered it, I was like, whoa, really? Holy Moses, I've been thinking about this all, not wrong, but I can totally see why that has made me make decisions that I've made because of this deep-rooted misunderstanding of what's going inside. So notice what we're doing here. Notice I said your thoughts. People will get, again, I got jammed up with this with coaching. That's why I try to make it easy. It's like, is it a thought? Is it a belief? Is it whatever? Here's how I call it. Words in your head. Words. Words. What are words for when no one listens anymore? No, I always think of the monkeys. Words that never were true. Maybe they're not true, but you might believe them thinking they're true. Actually, words that never were true, spoken to help nobody but you, that's your backseat driver singing the words, you know? When you listen to the words in your head and you just jot them down, pretend you're like one of those 50s, court reporters, or like, somebody coming in and doing shorthand. Write down that, the lyrics in your head. What's the song? What are the song lyrics in your head? Are they songs like "You suck" and "This is too late" and "It's too late, baby, now it's too late"? Or is it "You can do this because I'm happy"? You can choose the radio station and the songs that play in your head. You can change them. And if you don't like the song, you can sing a new one. If you don't like the station, you can turn to a better station. Yeah, there you go. Words from the Bee Gees. So, yeah, it can really be as simple as starting to examine how you talk to yourself, how those words make you feel, and if they make you feel crappy, change the words. Experiment with how that makes you feel different. I've been talking nicely to myself about the fact that I've gained weight. And I even said to my husband, I'm like, oh my God, we're so cuddly now. Not that I don't want to be cuddled. I also don't want to turn into like a piece of, gristle, but I want to be cuddly and feel more comfortable that my skin bends the way I want it to. Yeah, hockey chick, using the timer made me work much more efficiently. And you know what efficiency is? Is getting the stuff done that you don't want to do in the shortest amount of time possible, so you have the maximum amount of time to go do something awesome. Now, the cool thing is, as I say that, I'm thinking of time. I'm looking up at my clock, and I realize I've only got 3 minutes left. I've been here with you for about an hour, depending upon when you've shown up. The neat thing is I love doing this, so I don't mind this. I seriously could sit here all day and do this, but I don't want you stuck in front of your screen all day, consuming things, consuming media. I want you to put down the ducky if you want to play the saxophone. I want you to put this down maybe after I get it and say, okay, you know what? I am going to get into action. I'm not just going to sit here and let it wash off over me. I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to make something happen today. I kind of don't know what, because we weren't planning on being home, but I know myself that I'm going to make sure that I do some stuff I want to do. And even if it's stuff I initially off the surface I don't want to do, I'm going to do something. I'm going to talk to myself better so I feel more likely like I want to do it. It could be that simple. You could say to yourself, how can I talk to myself nicer today? How can I talk to myself? Quieting down the backseat drivers. Again, you can't do two things at once. You got to quiet them down first. People meditate. I just say breathe. Just go whoosh. Shh, quiet down. Simmer down now. Simmer down. That's another one. Simmer down now. Okay? I'm speaking. And you know what I'm speaking? Love, compassion, encouragement. Yes, you can do this. Quiet down the fear. Quiet down the voices that say, no, you can't do this. You have no power. Because if you believe them, you're going to act like it. It's just words. What I'm saying is you do. You've got the power. You do. You can do this. Whatever it is, this thing is, you can do it. You can make a positive change in your life. And you can do that by quieting down your backseat drivers and talking more nicely to yourself, like a co-pilot, a coach pilot like me. And if you like what I'm doing, one of the little baby steps you could do is, follow my TikTok page. I am going to do a TikTok live tomorrow morning. I don't know what time. I usually schedule them. If you're on the mailing list, I'll send you the schedule, like at pretty much after this, as long as everybody who signs up, and I'm like, okay, good, I'll send it out to you. We do a free monthly Zoom, but also if you want me to be your constant companion, your coach, not constant, just I do a 10-week package, an hour a week on Zoom for 10 sessions, and then if you want to sign up for another, I have people on their second, third, fourth, fifth package. It's all what you need. I also do one-on-one paid coaching. You can find out about that on my website, or just seriously drop me a note and ask me about it. How you get started with it, though, is the very first step for anybody to be my client is to sign up for a consultation. You can also find out how to do that on my website, destinationdecluttered.com. All right, it is just turned 10 o'clock. There we go. There we go, Hockey Chick. I love it. Thank you for showing up and cheering everybody else on. Okay, Hockey Chick says, you've given me tools, yes, to make my house a place I want to be. Oh, my God. My work is done. I feel like I could, invisible, like that guy on the TV show back in the day, right? And now my work is done, and now this is what we do, all right? Now you go figure out what tools that I gave you to play around with today, experiment with them, see how it goes, and then tune in tomorrow morning whenever I show up, okay? It'll most likely be top of the hour. an 8 or 9 or a 10 or 11 or a 12. All right? I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.